'Cause if you're not prepping, shit could hit the fan tonight. Hey, this is Hammer 357 Mag here. Today we're going to do a quick look of the CRKT Ripple. The quick look is going to go over the specs, price point, primary and secondary concepts of use, and the out-of-box sharpness, and any final thoughts. So the specs on this, the steel is a CR14 MOV, and that's a Chinese stainless steel with the similar characteristics of the Aussate, and it's an excellent value price steel for its performance, and the tempering is 57 to 59. Now let's talk about the handle on this. Let's get a good look at the handle. The handle on this is an aluminum handle. It's CNC machined with over 40 lightning holes. So you can see here they've incorporated some lightning holes on the handle. Maybe we can see it better this way. There you go. There's some at the top, some at the bottom, and on both sides. And they've also put them in the pocket clip, so that kind of gives it a, I don't know, pretty awesome look, if you ask me. I kind of like it. And the handles are then hardenized with a black anodized coating. Then what they do on the ripples, which run through this, they polish that off to create a worn look. So when you look at this, you'd say, oh yeah, that thing, it's been worn. But that's how they create it from the factory. They want this to have kind of a used look. And it does, but I think that's cool, you know. So as you use this thing and you wear a bit of the black anodize off, you're never going to really notice it because it comes out of the factory that way. So that's kind of nice. Okay, the overall blade length on this is 3 1/4 inches. The overall length is 7.5 inches, and the close length on this will be 4.33 inches. The weight on the other is what I was looking at for a second, is 2.5 ounces, so that's really light, okay, for a carry knife. So if you're going to carry a light knife and a heavier knife, okay, you would consider this as one of your light carries. So again, at 2.5 ounces, that's not bad for weight. The flipper's a manual flipper, and it just a slight flick of the wrist, it just comes out of there like lightning. I mean, you know. And the reason it does that is it's got the IKBS ball bearing system. So they've got ball bearings in the flipper, and that makes it really easy to close and open with just a light flick of the wrist. Okay, this is the lock liner blade. See, but there it is. And it gets in there about, I don't know, a quarter of the way, almost 33%, so it locks up really nice. It only has one position for the pocket clip. There's no tip up or tip down, and it's not reversible to right and left hand side. So what you get is what you get on this knife. The blade type, as you can see, it's just a drop point. It comes out here and drops, which tends to give it a nice looking belly on this. Again, I like the drop points. The blade finish is satin, so it gives you a nice look. As I can see, I got fingerprints on that. The grind is a hollow grind, and if we look at the blade centering, let's have a look at that. You can look at the centering of the blade. It's pretty much in the center, but it's slightly off to one side, but it's not really that bad. It's pretty close to the center, but if you look at it real close, it's slightly off to one side. Now let's go into blade retention. You know, it is a liner lock blade, and I recently heard some problems that people were concerned about whether the liner lock, you know, sometimes if it's not set up properly at the factory, the liner lock can slip off this and you lose blade retention. So let me just see if I can, hold the knife so the blade doesn't cut you, and just bang on this a little bit. So you can see the retention in there is pretty good. So again, the liner locks up good, which this one does. You'll have good retention. So again, I've heard that's been an issue, so I'm going to start incorporating that into my quick looks. Okay, go through the fit and feel and the ergonomics. Again, this is a 2.5 ounce blade, and it's just about perfect for my size hand. I got a medium size hand, and you can see it just slightly comes out at the end, but it doesn't, make me feel bad. And again, it's got that rippling effect on the blade, even though it's aluminum. It's got a lot of grip considering that. It's got a good troil at the bottom to, keep your bottom finger in there tightly, and got very aggressive jimping on this. It digs in really good. So I'm happy with that, And if you go to the CRKT home site, they call this a gentleman's tactical knife, and that has to do with the weight. And the way it's set up, I would say its primary concept of use is probably tactical and combat. It's got a longer than 3 inches in the blade. It feels good in the hand. It's got great jimping, and it's got that nice troil. So again, its primary concept of use, I would say, is tactical combat. But the secondary, which is, I'm real happy with that if you want to use that as the primary, is that EDC general purpose. It's just as good as the tactical. Again, that blade is perfect for EDC general purpose. So again, this is a real good combination blade to go either way. So okay, let's go over the price point. As of today, I checked on eBay, it's $42 with shipping, and Amazon has it for $37.5 with shipping. So again, it's a reasonably priced, mid-range price knife. Now let's check the sharpness of this blade right out of the box. Okay. Seems pretty sharp. I think it compares favorably with the Kershaws again. So let's see if we can get us a little I'm not quite getting that nice roll like it has some Kershaws. It just doesn't quite want to. I think it compares favorably out of the box, but it's not quite as sharp as some of the Kershaws. But I'm happy with this knife. So anyway, my final thoughts on this knife is it's good for both tactical combat as a carry knife. Also, it's really good as an EDC general purpose. And if you were going to go with just one knife to EDC carry, this would be a good one because it will do both functions very well. The sharpness out of the box is really good. It's not quite as sharp as some of the Kershaws. I couldn't get that little curl on the paper, so it probably would need to be touched up slightly. But again, for the price point on this, it's not really that bad. So the real question is, would I buy this knife again if I lost it? Well, one of the reasons I bought this knife is I just like the look of this knife. The draw point, the stainless steel, the ripples, the hole drilled into it. It's very aggressive. It's almost like an alien knife. If you remember the movie The Aliens, this reminds me of that. I mean, it's just a nice looking aggressive knife. So that was what really drew me to it when I first saw it. This is Hammer 357 Mag. I'd like to thank you for your time. Have a great day, and remember, long live rock and roll and the American dream. Thank you.